Hey friends, today's episode is for anyone who's ever felt like they're doing everything right, but still don't look the part. For those who've learned so much, but still don't feel qualified. For those of us who still carry the weight, literally and emotionally, of being in the middle of a transformation. And for those of us who sometimes feel like we're just pretending to be strong, pretending to be disciplined, and pretending to belong. Welcome to Making Mel, Health in the Hustle. This podcast is a place where motherhood meets muscle, ambition meets exhaustion, and figuring out how to prioritize my health journey into the insanely beautiful chaos of my busy life is what I talk about. Some days it'll look messy, and other days flawless. But no matter what kind of day I'm having, I can assure you, I will tell you the truth and do my best to give you some good ideas and insight that will help prioritize your own journey. Welcome to episode 6, Weighing Health, Hustle, and Holding It All, even when you feel like an imposter. So let's talk about what it means to be 300 pounds and be healthy. To be strong. To still be showing up. That number just sits there like it's the story, but it's not. This week, I worked my behind off for work. We are experiencing reorganization, which means a complete revamp of my entire weekly schedule. All of the final decisions have not been made yet, but I have a ton of moving parts with days off and training scheduled, and lots of uncertainty. So I put together an entirely new schedule based on those changes, and I successfully pulled that off. I assisted my daughter in getting ready for some big plans at school and in procuring a job for this week. I finished one of my last papers for this PhD course and started to work on the final one that I swear wants to break me. I meal prepped for the next week like a boss, and I fought through some incredibly busy, complicated, and painful medical things this week. I rested for my movement this week because that's what my body needed, and here I am this morning talking to you. And I'm still just over 300 pounds. But that number doesn't tell you anything about me. It doesn't tell you about how hard I've worked to get from 423 to 301. It doesn't tell you how many times I've chosen movement over comfort. It doesn't tell you when I've chosen vegetables over vending machines, or when I've chosen to sleep instead of scrolling, or how much discipline it sometimes takes to not do a Netflix binge and to get to work. Imposter syndrome doesn't just show up in workplaces or classrooms. It shows up in the kitchen, in the gym, in the mirror. It shows up when I'm doing everything right and still wondering if I'm just faking it. It's that voice that says, you're not really healthy, you're not really strong, you're just performing. But here's the truth. I'm not performing, I'm practicing. And practice is messy. It's failures and successes and sometimes really painfully slow progress, but it's real. Let me just take a minute and break down my week for you so you get a real idea of what my hustle layer cake actually looks like. Monday through Friday, my schedule changes very little. I get up at 4 o'clock every morning. I get my coffee and my water. Water first, then coffee. And I do my reading, my devotional, and responding to my friends on email, Connect, and all the places. I make Genesis lunch. I get stuff prepped for dinner, and then I do a short stretch session, a weighted workout, or a walk. By 6 a.m., I've showered, dressed, prepped, and I'm usually signing on to a 6 a.m. workshop or getting a little schoolwork done before that Weight Watchers workshop starts at 6:30. I work from 8 o'clock in the morning until 5 p.m. Now, I do have some breaks in between, or I may have some workshops or podcasts or music playing in the background. And I get up every 45 minutes and do something, even if it's standing for 5 minutes. I have alarms set on my phone that remind me. At lunchtime, I usually start dinner while I throw my lunch together, or if I'm in the office, I work on the podcast. Too much needs to be done for me to waste that time, so I'm finding ways to use it effectively. At 4:30 p.m., I start my end of the day transition. I finish up reports, make final calls, schedule meetings, review my smart sheets and emails, and take a look at what tomorrow's schedule looks like. At 5 p.m., I pick my daughter up if she needs picked up from after-school activities. I listen to a workshop, and we eat dinner. By 5:45 or 6 o'clock p.m., I'm back in front of my computer hitting the books and papers until 9 or 9:30 p.m. I do take a few breaks during that time, and I stretch every night before bed. On Mondays, I hit a workshop late. On Tuesday evening, I attend a book club. Wednesday morning, I catch an in-person Weight Watchers meeting on my way to the office. And Wednesday evening, I leave my school schedule for only the necessities, and I concentrate on a workout. Friday evening at 8:30, I stop everything. Schoolwork sets aside. I plan my meals and my workouts for the next week. I do my online grocery order, and I try to catch Coach Danny and Coach Shelley's 9 p.m. Weight Watchers workshop. I usually drink tea or decaf coffee during that workshop so I can disconnect my brain from school and the work week and hang out with my friends. I work smarter, not harder, and I've become very efficient at handling my schedule during the weekdays, but it is packed. Saturday and Sunday are reserved for workshops, household duties, and 8 to 12 hours of schoolwork both days. I catch church on Sunday morning at 8:15. I do all the house cleaning, laundry, meal prep, bill paying, whatever needs to get done. And I've also carved out two 2-hour time periods for workouts, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. I plan to start taking a workout during my lunchtime at the new bougie gym I joined back in July this week. I'll have 40 minutes exactly, just enough time to get a bench press or a squat or an accessory workout in. There are days when I do not want to do what I need to do. There are days when I break down and cry and feel all the pressure. I feel like a phony or like I will never, ever get where I'm going. But that's what health in the hustle looks like. It's not just weights and water or food and fun. It's boundaries and time blocks and emotional regulation and grace. It's progress over perfection and knowing when to pivot. It's stopping all the things on days when I just need a break. It's choosing what matters most when everything feels urgent. You know, I've had people look at me and say, "You're still doing all that? Why aren't you smaller yet?" I've had some people accuse me of being lazy. Like, dude, are you kidding me? Did you just hear what I do on the daily? People have said directly to me, "You mean you can do whatever the thing is that they expect me not to do at your size?" My response is always the same. Yes, I am, and yes, I can. But even when I say that with my whole chest, sometimes there's a part of me that wonders if I'm lying. That's the imposter voice again. It's sneaky. It doesn't just question your results. It questions your right to even try. But here's the whole truth. The mirror doesn't measure my strength, my consistency, my sleep quality, or my mindset. It does not measure my blood pressure or my cholesterol or my A1C. The mirror does not measure my ability to lift my daughter's confidence and a 200-pound deadlift in the same week. Progress isn't always visible, but It is always valuable. Most of the work that I've done has been between my ears, and my mindset is a total beast. So, for those of you who don't believe that someone can be healthy at a higher weight, I want you to ponder this for a minute. You can be metabolically unhealthy and live in a socially acceptable body. And you can be metabolically healthy and still live in a larger body that is less acceptable by social standards. You can train, you can eat well, you can sleep deeply, and still be on a journey. Because see, health is not a destination, ladies and gentlemen, it's a practice. And I am practicing every damn day, whether it looks like I am or it doesn't. No one else gets to judge me or my journey by their standards. And when I feel like I don't belong in the health space, I remind myself, I did not get here by accident. I did not stumble onto this journey. I built it. With every single rep, with every paper, with every meal, with every boundary, and every mindset shift, I earned my seat at this table. Even if some days I have to fight to stay in it. It took me 47 years to get to the unhealthiest version of myself. So how long do I get to build the healthiest and strongest version of myself? My answer is, however long it takes me. And here's the real kick. My body goal weight is not even on the BMI chart. I don't know what my body goal weight looks like or what it's going to be. How about that? My body goal weight is whatever I weigh on the week when I can squat more than 400 pounds, bench press more than 200 pounds, and deadlift more than 500 pounds. Whatever the scale says I weigh on that week, body goal weight accomplished. Period. You know, my daughter was watching me this week and she said, "You look strong, Mom. Not you look skinny, not you look different. Strong." That's the legacy that I want to leave her. Not perfection, not pressure, but persistence. She's watching me build something that's real and hard and powerful at work, at school, at the gym, at home. And I'm watching her believe that she can do the same with her own life because of what she sees in me. I'm not there yet, but I'm not even close to the place I used to be. I'm still in the middle, but the middle is movement. And the middle is messy. The middle belongs to me. So I am going to continue to take up as much space in the middle as I need to take for as long as I need to take it, because I'm worth that, and so are you. If you've ever felt like you're just pretending to be the person that people admire, welcome to the club. But here are the facts. Imposters do not show up every day and do the work. You do, and I do, and that means we're not imposters. We're just not done growing yet. And quite honestly, I hope we never are. Because if there's one thing that I never want to be, it's stagnant. And that's what happens when you stop trying and stop growing and stop striving to be that better version of yourself. This week, on our midweek check-in, we're going to get real about why we believe we're imposters in the first place. We're going to talk about mean girl culture and how that feeds that belief. From the subtle shade to the outright sabotage, we're going to talk about the voices, both internal and external, that make us question our worth and how to rewrite that script. Thanks so much for listening. And if this episode spoke to you, go share it with someone else who's in the middle too. We're building something here, so let's keep doing it together. Until next time, onward and upward, my friends.